All right, folks, how we doing? Today is Sunday, November 13th, 2016. Rich Van Tassel giving you our weekly NBA report. Of course, it's early now. I still look like hell, I know, but we got to get it done, so that's what we're doing. Starting, of course, in the Eastern Conference. Not really a surprise that the Cavaliers are in first. They are 7-1. Believe they lost, or no, they beat the Bulls the other night. I'm not sure where that loss came from. Can't remember exactly. The big surprise to me is the Atlanta Hawks at 7-2. I thought they'd really take a step back. No more Jeff Teague, no more Al Horford. Of course, they got Dwight Howard. I just felt the way that team was playing, much team-oriented style. And again, I said this in the season preview. I'm not a hater of Dwight Howard, and I think he can be effective. I'm going to check his numbers right now, actually. My point just was losing those two guys. I felt that bringing them back in would have been a bit of a problem. Dwight Howard is shooting 63% from the floor this year, 15.2 points, 12.4 rebounds, 1.9 blocks. So Dwight Howard can play ball, folks. You just got to start to accept that, no matter what the case is. Charlotte 6-2. Chicago 6-4. They've played better than expected. Celtics right there. Of course, we'll do a Celtics report. They're 5-4. Boston won a game against Indiana last night. They've been, bit Jekyll and Hyde this season, but it looks like their defense is starting to come along. Milwaukee 5-4. Detroit 5-5. Milwaukee, one of those swing teams that can go either way. Then that's the top eight, of course, but to talk playoffs this soon is a little ridiculous. Brooklyn 4-5. Give Atkinson some credit there. He's got that team ready to go. I guess he's just not taking excuses this year, and can you blame him? You're a professional team. Brook Lopez, 19 points per game. So they're certainly doing what they need to do. It looks bad for Brooklyn, but hey, they're trying, and they're going to get the job done. I want to see what my guy, Isaiah Whitehead, out of Seton Hall is doing. Yeah, only 4 points, 3 rebounds. He's, basically your second round rookie pick, not getting many minutes, but I'd like to see if he can develop something. Disappointing teams in the East. Indiana 4-6 off that loss. New York continues to struggle. Miami, I felt they'd come down a bit. I didn't know they'd drop hard. They're 2-6 again. It's a long season. Washington 2-7. They beat the Celtics pretty badly as well. With John Wall and Bradley Beal, there's too much talent on this team, to not be pushing the playoffs. Yeah, especially for a team that was doing well in the playoffs for 2 years prior to that, and then Philadelphia, of course, 1-8. So you got to stop giving this team the first round picks if they're not going to do anything with them. In the West, Clippers plus 15.1 points in their differential. They're 9-1. Winners of 6 straight on top of that conference. Golden State 7-2. And going back to the Clippers, that's a team that, hey, they've got to start to get it together. Get it together, so to speak. But this is really, I would say, their last chance when you look at it. Um, that team is just, they're ready to win now. And if they don't, I would expect that there's going to be changes in the offseason. Then, of course, you have the Golden State Warriors, as we just said, 7-2. Kevin Durant putting together his numbers, 27 points, almost 28, 27.6. He's shooting over 50% from the floor. So certainly what you would expect from a Kevin Durant. He's getting the numbers. Not really affecting Steph Curry that much, though his points are coming down. He's got 26, just shy of 27 points thus far this season. It appears that Klay Thompson is the one who's having the trouble adapting. And that really surprises me because Klay Thompson's a shooter. You don't really have to run many sets for him, and he can play off those guys. He's down to 17.6. Now, does that mean that Klay Thompson's play is really suffering, or there's just not the shots to go around? That remains to be seen. But we'll keep an eye on that with Golden State moving forward this season. Of course, San Antonio 7-3, Oklahoma City Thunder 6-3. Maybe Russell Westbrook is the player that I've been saying. I've made a case he's the best player in the league. You look at him, 30.9 points, 9.4 assists per game. He's got this team at 6-3. He's doing a good job, and he's taking the responsibility on his back. Russell Westbrook is a guy who can carry a team. It's really as simple as that. And now without Durant, we'd seen what he could do without Durant when he got hurt the previous year and almost took him to playoffs. And certainly I felt he could have been an MVP that year. But now, excuse me, he has the whole thing on him. They've gotten him guys like Oladipo to try to help out, but they're running more of a thing where we're going to make it where they had it. It's Durant and Westbrook are offense, and then everyone else basically fall in line. Now it's Westbrook, and then everyone else get in, so you don't have to necessarily worry about trying to get two main guys going. You only have to worry about one, and then let everyone else pick up the slack. And of course, they are on a 2-game losing streak, Oklahoma City. Utah Jazz 7-4. I'm looking for big things from Utah. Not big things, but at least be right on the edge of playoffs. But that's where they've been. Lakers 6-4. Give Luke Walton some credit. The talk about is Kobe Bryant not being there, that's helping this team. I mean, maybe in the sense that Kobe was not the player he was towards the end, and you're not worrying about getting him minutes, getting him shots. But Kobe Bryant at Kobe Bryant's best, no team is better off without him. Portland 6-4, Houston 5-4. James Harden is playing pretty lights out this year. He's averaging 30 a night. And, there's nothing wrong with James Harden. People will say, well, now Dwight Howard's out of there. I'm sure it helps in some regards, but, again, Dwight Howard is not a problem player. Dwight Howard is an addition and a good player to have on any team. Memphis 4-5. Now, of course, with the Western Conference, you're looking at it. Those are the top 8. Houston, everyone above 500. Now, the bottom 8, of course, below 500. But the playoffs, it's still, some teams haven't even played 10 games. You got Memphis 4-5. Sacramento 4-7. Denver, who shocked the Celtics, they completely went off on him. Emmanuel Mudiay had a big game early last week. He's one of those games that just happens. You look at Sacramento, DeMarcus Cousins, of course, putting up the big numbers, 26.6, 8.6 rebounds, a little low there. You'd like to see more blocks, but hey, he's averaging only 33 minutes per game, folks. I mean, please, DeMarcus Cousins is a premier player, and he's just in a bad situation now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. After those two, Denver 3-6, Phoenix 3-7, Dallas 2-6. There's nothing really surprising me in those teams. What's really surprising me is the Minnesota Timberwolves. I expected this team to be much better this season. They're 2-6. They're not finding their way even with Tom Thibodeau. I'm surprised. Andrew Wiggins is putting up some points. Karl Anthony Towns, I don't know if Karl Anthony Towns is not playing because he's not leading the team in rebounding, so I'm going to check that right now. That really surprises me. Chris Dunn, of course, we'll check him in just a minute. Yeah, Karl Anthony, I didn't even know Karl Anthony Towns was out of Piscataway. That's about 10-minute drive from where I'm doing this video right now, but that's a different story. He's only played 8 games, so he's played all 8, averaging 8.5 rebounds, so there must be some mistake with what ESPN is putting up here. Or no, excuse me, I was looking at the assists per game, Tyus Jones, that's my bad. Minnesota, there's too much talent on this team. I had Chris Dunn as being the Rookie of the Year again for 3 straight Rookie of the Years, and it's really disappointing to see what they have. And then, of course, the New Orleans Pelicans, boy, I thought there would be a respectable team with Anthony Davis coming back. They are just not. That playoff berth a couple years ago when Golden State won the finals is looking more and more like an aberration to this point. All right, our power rankings, and of course, we only do top 5. Got to go with the Clippers, number 1. Very impressive. Remember, plus 15 in their differential. They're scoring 107. They're holding teams to under 92. That's very good. They're not. I mean, you look at a team like Portland is giving up 111 points per game. Cleveland's giving up 103. Atlanta, a very good defensive team, 98.9. So that's impressive. I mean, they're just blowing away. The Utah Jazz are pretty low at 93.1. So the Jazz are a little above a point better than that. But you look at those numbers, just very, very good. Number 2, Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 3, the Golden State Warriors. Number 4, Gonna give it to the Atlanta Hawks, winners of 4 straight, and it's 7-2. Mike Budenholzer is a damn good coach. And number 5, the Toronto Raptors at 7-2, quietly just going about their business, and look for them to be in contention all year long. Okay, so we're gonna do a Celtics report in just a little bit for the fan groups. We Bleed Green, all those guys there. Remember, we got the NFL games coming on later, so we'll give you the recap of those when they go final, maybe a little later than usual because I got some things going on, but we'll have them all done. And if not, you can certainly check them out tomorrow. I tried to get them done as soon as I can, though. But be sure to stay tuned for that. So have a good Sunday, everyone, and we will see you later on. Thanks so much.